black ice slip. I slide in the slickest, surrounded by the smoke like I stay in contact with spirits. Smoking supersonic James like still a bag.
With that being said, what's up everybody and welcome back to the world famous Do Work podcast. I am your host Scientifixxx and this is episode, man, what episode is this? 27,989.
You said 29?
29. Wait, hold on. Because I've shot a lot this week, so don't mind me. I'm just trying to catch up with what we got. 26, 27, 28. Episode 28. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the world famous Do Work podcast. I'll do it over. I don't give a shit. Yeah, this is episode 28. Every week we're at a special location. We're shooting directly with our guests to get into their comfort zone, to get with them. Every week I have a greater guest than I always do. Not that I always do. I mean, the week before, but that doesn't mean they get better as in the people. That means the conversation gets better. We get deeper in. We get more artists and reaching out different areas of the city and of the 209-559 area. So that's why it gets bigger and better. I want to give a special shout out to my sponsor, RedEyeIndustries.com. RedEyeIndustries.com. They laced us today with some Sunday Driver. We smoked on a little bit of that. I got my man a towel, a glasses cleaner, and a bag. You know what I mean? For the one time, maybe some stickers too. Sipping on a little something. So, like I said, every week we got a special guest. This week does not disappoint. None of them do. My man to the left of me has been doing music in the scene for a minute. He's been holding it down. He's got project after project. He's done collabs. He's worked with other artists, and then also did collabs and full things on his own. We're watching some of his videos earlier, dated back. I mean, some of the stuff is really fire. I don't know how everybody kind of didn't cop on, or maybe I just missed it, but the shit's fire. I'm about to listen to everything on top of what I already know about. But everybody put your hands together, make some noise for the one, the only, the incomparable, the man that does that thing. Yeah, I'll shoot my own videos. I don't even give a fuck. Dr.Ink in the building. Bam, 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 bam. What's up, my guy? How you doing?
What's up? Good. Yeah.
Good to see you on this warm afternoon.
Yeah, it is
You know
nice
what I
and
mean?
warm, but you know.
That's dope. We if you guys don't know, today we also will be shooting the video for, what song is it?
The song is called I Feel Like.
I Feel Like. So we'll be doing an extra clip at the end of this episode that we might feature in, but we'll also be having the video featured at the end of this episode because by the time it comes out, editing and doo-wop, the magic of TV, you know how it goes.
Yep.
So what's up with you, man? How you doing? Oh, also, wait, before that, let everybody else know, because I gave you a nice little intro, but let everybody else know who you are and what it is you do, just off the rip so they can hear it from the man himself.
What's up, everybody? I'm Dr. Ink, aka Twigonomical. Just been in this for a while. Hip hop, rapping, that's my main thing I do. But I also make beats here and there, videography and photography. Trying to dip into everything I can to, you know, just
All the levels of multimedia in itself.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, because it costs money to hire everybody to do the shit.
That's real.
And if you got to do it over and over and over, it makes sense to just buy the thing yourself the one time, fuck up a few times, and then get it right. And then now you don't got to hire nobody to pay, you know, $500 for a video. You already spent the $500 on the lights and the cameras and everything. So
exactly,
it makes more sense. That's the same reason why I went into multimedia. Post music, you know, I started getting into other things. I had already did like graphic design and things like that. But once I started getting into, you know, getting the toys and the accoutrements to sit down and just play with, it was a lot better than having to spend the money. And no diss to anybody that's out there that, you know, you still hire people to do certain videographers. There's videographers we shot in Fresno, all that great shit. But if you're,
I still collab with videographers.
Oh, yeah.
Even though, like, Otis Reed did a video for me.
Okay. Shout out to Otis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that was dope. I want to hit up BC.
Okay. Shout out to BC.
And let's see who else. Well, man, Kings Rivera did a video for me before.
Oh, sure. Okay.
There's just been a few.
But it's good to be able to have the ability to step back and like shoot your own like you're doing today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like the video you seen, that was I knew that I was the only one that was going to be able to get the idea, the concept, everything I wanted right then and there, because trying to explain it to someone sometimes is difficult. So
I
was like, This
let
one
me
I
show
need
you.
to do.
Yeah, let me show you by doing. Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
But that's dope too, because the creativity side of it, you know, actually adds to when you do work with other visual creators or other content creators or just directors, and you're able to get that storyboard to them, or maybe show them something that you've created and be like, something like this, but then like this, but then here's the angle that we want to kind of, you know. Yeah.
Exactly.
And how many years have you been in like the video game itself? Besides just, I mean, music itself, we'll get into that, but just when you start gathering your toys.
Honestly, it was after the pandemic hit.
Got that PPE.
Yeah.
Got that nice PPE, you know what I mean? You got a little money. You know what I mean?
That unemployment was kicking in with that, you know.
Yeah. He was like, hey, could I get like a heat press and make some shirts, or am I gonna do like lights and camera action type shit? You know, I feel you.
You know, I had choices, so I was like, you know, let me invest in something for myself that I know that's going to save me a lot of money at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because that's just what I got to do. So I just ended up getting a lot of stuff, even stuff that I didn't even know I needed until I ended up using it. So it was like, well, hey.
He said, you mean I gotta need an adapter for that motherfucker? I can't just buy it and then plug. Nah, you gotta buy the plug, do the thing. Yeah.
So after that, I was like, you know what? Since I have all this stuff, it can't just be about doing, you know, videos or photography for me. I was like,
offering services.
Let me turn this into a business.
A little bit, you know what I mean?
So, you know, you got to invest in yourself.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean?
And
especially if you saw it from the standpoint of it's going to help me, you got good enough, then you go, okay, now I can help everybody else. I got the ability to.
Exactly.
You know? And they probably already knew your vision was there, but now you can present it to them and be like, oh, this is what I see. This looks a little better. So, you know, that's good that people pick it up, because I encourage everybody that's out there too. We talk about this on multiple podcasts. Like, if you got a little passion for something, like, and you know how to, or you could pick it up really easily, do that.
Yeah.
Because 1 year from now, you'll be very surprised where you're at. You'll be very surprised how much further you are than you would have thought you would have been in a year.
Exactly.
And then working with other videographers too helps you get that ideas and grow little skills and techniques, how they shot it, how they, you know, because talking to them, they'll be like, well, maybe the better angle or maybe the better way is. So, and you're like, yeah, that's good to learn. And then with that too, like, so how long have you been in the music game? If we're gonna get back to the origin.
I mean, like, so let me tell you how I first started.
Okay.
Recording my own music.
Okay.
So I had this radio with detachable speakers, and I had this little radio, this little Sony radio you can record on, right?
Speaker slide up like that and just detach.
Little double deck radio. Then I had the speakers with the detachable speaker, you know. Okay. So what I did was I had the beat playing on the little thing.
Okay.
You know, or the beat playing on the big radio with the detachable speakers. And I had the other radio recording.
Yeah, outside karaoke.
Yeah. So I just started recording myself like that, and then it got to a point where some kind of way we incorporated the PlayStation Sony music generator.
Yeah. Slapping beats on that.
Yeah, the beats of that. We hooked it up to a mixer, hooked it up to a computer. Hooked a mic up and a mini disc player.
Yeah, and that little memory card that came in handy, huh? Yeah.
So we concocted something and ended up recording some stuff.
Okay.
And so
what year is this?
This was, oh my God, we're talking about 2004.
Okay.
And then the very first show.
Don't tell me 50 encouraged you. Like, you heard 50's first album and you're like, I'm gonna do this. Nah, just I just play. And then
after that, the very first show that we did under my label, Triple God Recordings, you know, the artist Surf and my boy Elder, who passed away, rest in peace, was 2005 at the Babylon.
Babby, hey, welcome to that. When saying that's full circle. Babby just came back. They're about to open up a lot more events, so maybe you can drop something then and do, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
do like
that right there.
Yeah,
that would be great.
I mean, because everybody remembers the $1, $2 Paps, tall cans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You pull up with $10, you already know you're gonna get a couple tallies.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a live performance. Narcy's gonna be DJing, or what was the other guy? Crypto or
It was Narcy, and there was
what's it called when you burn fires? What's that person? Klepto, DJ Klepto.
Mm-hmm.
He was the other dude with the dreads.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple different people that had open mics. Bobby FaZe from Cloud9 at the time, but now at full circle. Shout out to FaZe. We just did an episode with him, so shout out to you. But yeah, that during that time frame. Okay, so 2004, man.
So
good
then,
times,
just
good times.
after that, it was just like, it was just different performances and shows. And I've just been in it ever since, nonstop.
And then like being here, you know, it's easy to link with people, so it was building up with the sound and just showing up too. Because I remember when it first dropped, it was Twigonomics, right? When it first dropped.
Twigonomical, yeah.
And I remember you being at Babylon. I remember doing shows at where was the other spot? We did Zaps Park.
Oh my goodness.
We did Reps.
Oh my goodness.
We did Salsas. We did Habanos. There was a couple of them like that because D4D was kind of like hosting some stuff and then there was a couple of other promoters that were just bringing in like the hip hop artists that were kind of like bringing in a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that you were, you know, on a lot of. Actually, I'll show you some stuff I have on my hard drive. I'll show you some of the flyers that we have from back then.
Okay.
Got you right there just chilling, you know. So you'll say your name. So
I still got a lot of the flyers from that. One of my videos, the very first video I did, shows the flyer from the Rhyme and Reason show. And, I was just like, man, that's kind of classic. Even the video, a video I did, it was called was it Resin? Yeah, it was called Resin.
Mm-hmm.
That video had so many cameos in it of the artists that it had Kaleidoscope, Wix, some of the cats from Roach Collection.
Okay.
Man, I can't even say the name.
It was just so like, it was such a collage of everybody.
It was like, man, this was the time back then.
And what year was this?
This was in, I have to say 2000. Oh wait, 2020 right now.
Like 8, 9,
17.
17. Oh, okay.
16,
this is
17.
A lot closer.
This is when, at the time where like all the hip hop artists of Fresno were getting together and like shows were going on at Fulton Mall. Shows were
when they were doing like the ciphers and stuff like that too, and
it was just a community thing, you know, and it was at my boy Painkiller's birthday party.
Okay, shout out to Painkiller.
Yeah, that's where like everybody was there. I catered with edibles. You know, Black Willy Wonka.
That would be Blanca. Willy Blanca.
Yeah. So catered that, and it was just a great party. Did the video shoot there. And it was cool. Loved it. Man, I missed those days, man.
Sorry I missed it because we were talking about off air. Like I traveled a lot during that time frame. I was living different places, but I was definitely watching. I saw everything that was going on. And when the last, year and a half, I saw everybody just return with like this resurgence of music. Everybody's dropping projects. But the energy still feels like that growth was there. It wasn't just like people were like, you know what? Maybe I want to pick the mic up again. No, it was like this last project, this project, this project. And I think that outside of Fresno, we talked about this on other episodes too, that there's just like an energy that draws everybody to Fresno.
Yeah.
And when you're here and you got album after album after album after album, it isn't hard for other people to pick up and go, I've been listening to you since. Or I remember the project when you did.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing stuff with everybody around the whole. I mean, I could name so many names, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that cat," or "I remember this guy." And it isn't like they fell off. It was just life, music. Maybe even just a different avenue. Instead of doing the rap shit or the production shit, they do what I'm doing now, which is like podcasting or multimedia, like you do. So we all picked up a different lane and like was able to grow. Excuse me, but in that time frame, it's dope to see that. People put in that much legwork and that much energy to collab that they all paid off in the long run with the respect that you build, the notch in Fresno's timeline that exists with your face and your name on it that they can't remove, that other people, even though younger cats will be like, yo, I don't know who that is, or, there's always younger generations that are going to claim. but it's always up to the older heads that before us that were giving us that 70s, 80s vibe. Like, yo, you got to check. Same thing, but in a grander scale, because we're the ones that were like, yo, we got to see all of it. Like, there's no, you're gonna want to talk to one of us and hear the advice, because it turned 50. We're in that bracket of, we were kids when it was a kid. Yeah. You know, when 79 hit, when, you know, Rappers Delight dropped, that's basically when it all started to become a thing, and we all were able to grow up, and there's none of us that can remember a time when it wasn't present.
Exactly.
You know, it was always here, and to be able to be in a state now where in Fresno, the timeline, being able to be a person that's notched into the hip hop faction here, and if it gets, and when it gets, and where it goes, the popularity it gains, people get to realize that there's other artists that have been doing it, because you know there's everybody in every city. Yeah. There's artists, but the great part is now hip hop is such an older gentleman that we as older gentlemen get the opportunity to not feel weird as being like an older gentleman rapping, because you know, Hove and all these people, they in their 50s, you know what I mean? Busta Rhymes, like all these people that we look up to, they may not be grade, but they old. Yeah. Older. I mean, Too Short, what? Almost 50-something years old? Like, you know, Short been everybody uncle. He ain't nobody not grown up with Too Short.
A lot of me dying it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? A little just for men, you know what I mean?
Come that little something, in, you know.
You know, when you start getting some money, you go put it back. You go put it back. You rewind the time on them real quick, you know. Exactly. But yeah, that's great that we are in that zone where it's like hip hop has grown up enough to where it's like there's a space for people that continue to do it in a time frame to create for their cities and not feel like if you didn't make it, it's a waste of time. Like, no, there's a consistency of music that needs to exist in your city. You still hold a presence, you know, the people look up to you. You're an influence, you know, your merch, your impact of visuals, all these things play into the city because you're actually helping other people become more creative, because without your visual input, they wouldn't be a kid going, I could do that, but I'm gonna do and there's that spark of imagination, there's that influence. And we in Fresno like give a lot of it outside to a lot of different areas, but when it comes down to the city itself, you know, there's that, like I said, that notch where everybody claims to be, or not claims to be, but actually sits and says, this is where I existed between these years and these years, between this and this. And it all made sense for everybody to be a part of it, because you can name a bunch of rappers that were around when you first started, and now who's around present, you know what I mean? The established careers that have happened, and the, you know, presence of albums that you've dropped, and the people you got to meet that you probably didn't think you were going to come across, or came across your album and told you, hey man, I got the one, and you're like, how, you got that? Oh, okay, yeah, that's what's up. And it's great because on the show I like to give everybody their flowers and let them know how it is that they impact the city or impact what the culture has in Fresno, not just hip hop, but the culture. There's a fashion scene, there's a music scene, there's a food scene, a brewing scene. There's all of these things together. There's, of course, the athletics. Of course, there's businesses, you know, all these things. But if you're able to incorporate yourself into where your name comes up in multiple communications, multiple conversations, everybody knows what it is you've been doing or have been doing or have coming up next. It's great to see that growth and to be that embraced by the community. So I like to give my peoples their flowers when they're here. I call it watering my peoples, you know what I mean? Get them, let them know what it is. But just so you know that, you know, it's appreciated that, you know, just being around and pushing what you do and continuing driving on and giving that drive and that persistence and giving visuals and still being creative and coming out your own pocket to create something for yourself is amazing. So props to you for doing that and continue doing it. Don't stop. I know you're not, but you know, just continue doing it. From a person from the outside as a perspective, like I see that's dope because it's going to encourage other people to continue. It's going to be, you know, and myself, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to age myself on anything, but I'm 43. I've been doing music since the 90s. I've been around every generation, every 10 year when it changes, I've been present. But now it's great to see that, you know, hip hop itself has graduated to a point to where there are older gentlemen that are present. You know, when we were growing up, the oldest person we saw kind of was Too Short. Like that was like the only person that had been around the longest. LL Cool J, who ain't never ever aged. He'd been 31 and a half for the last 25 years and shit. You know what I mean? But
like what?
But yeah, it's great that
never changed styles.
Never. I mean, he did. He finally took the hat off one time, but he had the do-rag and the kufi and he had doubled up on him. But yeah, so with that being said, we're gonna take a break real quick. I mean, give me another one of these. Shout out to my man BE, Born Evil Industries, for tapping me with the koozie. You know what it is. Get yourself another one. Get yourself another one. You know what it is. Episode 28, we figured it out. Your man Scientifixxx, the world famous Do Work podcast, Dr.Ink, Trigonomics. You know what it is. We'll be right back with this one.
Yeah.
What up, everybody? It's your man Scientifixxx, here to tell you about our new sponsor, Red Eye Industries. RedEyeIndustries.com is the place to go to find all of our merch, tinctures, flowers, wax, drinks, and anything you may need for your medical uses. That's right, www.redeyeindustries.com. And tell them your man Science sent you.
He's like, all of them, where everybody live. With that being said, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the world famous Do Work podcast. I am your host, Scientifixxx, back with my man Dr.Ink, aka Trigonomics, aka, man, I'm just gonna shoot that video myself, even though I know I can work with other people type shit. Shout out to my sponsors, Red Eye Industries, RedEyeIndustries.com, RedEyeIndustries.com, RedEyeIndustries.com. Check it out. One side of the website of RedEyeIndustries.com is for the strand, the other side is for the brand. We got the merch, all the t-shirts that you see on my website, all the t-shirts you see on my IG and all that stuff. Check it out. This is on RedEyeIndustries.com. All the tree that you want to get, wax, tinctures, crumble. They have edibles now available, so check that out. Deliveries only, but check it, you know what I mean? RedEyeIndustries.com. Shout out to my be able to lace my man with some stuff. We gave him the towel, the glasses cleaner, and the bag. I see everybody that wears glasses, I hand them the glasses cleaner right off the rip. Here you go, man. Eyesight's good. You need to see that world the best way you can. Plus, I see everybody that has glasses sometimes have to use the t-shirt, and that causes the scratches on your stuff. I know what it is. So salute to my people that are visually amped and instead of impaired, but you're amped because you got, you know, power to the eyes. Do the other one away. Fuck it, don't even need it. So yeah, we're back with my man. We got through the whole first part of this conversation, which we talk about, you know, what it is, where you are, But now we get to the point where like 2020 impacts your life, it impacts your business, it impacts your artistry, or it changes whatever you're doing and builds things up. You know, let's get into how 2020 impacted that. Was it business-wise, personal-wise? Was there a gain? Was there a loss? Like, were you like, oh, actually, I'm sitting kind of good, like we were talking about, the PPE hit, you were able to purchase your stuff, but then you had to lay back because, like you said, nobody wanted to really work. Everybody was kind of like, stay back. So what was 2020 like for you? 2020 changed my life. It did, like big talk, like real talk. So I had a business. Okay. It was a driving business, actually. So when the pandemic hit, driving like limousines? Like, no, I had my own car picking people up. Oh, like Uber and shit, private car service? Yeah. Like a car service? Yeah. Not just like an Uber or anything like that, but like a... I was doing that, but from the airport, like private stuff? Thing. Okay, yeah, I had my own little business called Swoop. Damn, that's tight. I feel like that would be an app. Yeah. Like that. You get the like, Swoop app, get swooped up. And the business is still there, but I had to shut it down. You know, the pandemic was going on. I was like, nah, can't do this, you know. Was it for like insurance purposes? Like you didn't want to deal with the sickness? I didn't want to deal with the sickness because... And did you have other people working with you? No, it was just me. Oh, so yeah, you definitely didn't want to get the sickness. Yeah. Because then your company would definitely shut down. Yeah. Okay. And you know, I'm asthmatic. Oh, yeah, no. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. So it after that, I was like, what am I gonna do? You know? Created that pivot. Yeah. So I decided, I was like, you know, I like doing photography. I like doing videography. I got, you know, nobody was doing videos when it first happened. Nobody was, like, you couldn't go to no one's studio, you couldn't go to no one's home. Yeah. You know, and so I was like, well, you know what? I gotta do my own. And that's real because we talked with Otis on episode 16. He said the exact same thing. I was like, what was 2020 like? And he was like, I mean, I was getting footage from people, or people would shoot stuff, send it to me via that way, but to sit down and really want to shoot something, or really like, you know, put together, and even if it was like one artist that's like, you know, I'll pull up, I'll just shoot you, it was hard to get just anybody to come outside. Wow. And were you affected by it with anybody near you that was sick, or did you catch it? I ended up getting it, but not until I got it last year. Oh, you late with it. Yeah, exactly. So, but you like now that it's moved up to like what the common flu would be, so it's just like, oh, you got it, oh, okay, you good now.
Yeah. So I don't worry about it.
I got it in January before it hit like to the shutdown, and I didn't know what it was. I had it for 4 days. I just knew that when I walked certain distances, I was just tired. I could still breathe, but not really. You know what I mean? I was outside smoking a blunt. I'd be like, you know, let me just, which, you know, anybody who smokes,
exactly.
If you got to look at your jigger or you got to look at your blunt, like, you know, let me just do this later. You know your lungs is doing something. It's time a little self-care.
You know you sick.
Yeah. 'Cause normally you can muscle through that. Like, nah, I'm sick. It's gonna make me feel better. But yeah, I had it for like probably about 4 days, and then it kind of subsided. I started getting my energy back and things like that. And then when it happened in March, I was working at the IRS. We found out before everybody else.
Yeah.
I had a meeting at like 9 in the morning. They're like, yo, so at 2:30, shit about to close down. So you better call everybody you know, let them know, go get your toilet papers, go get your things, because at 1 o'clock, 1:30 is gonna be crazy at Costco. So we made the phone calls, we left, and then, but we were on full leave, like you said. Like I got unemployment, well, not unemployment, but I got hazard leave.
Yeah.
And then I got the loans that they were giving for government assistance, but they were government workers aid. It was the same amount, so it wasn't like I got anything extra than anybody else got. It was the 600, the 1200, the 600. You know, I got all three of them. But because I worked for them, they made sure we got everything locked in because we were workers and we weren't able to come back.
Yeah.
When we came back, though, you know what I mean? We're doing taxes, right? You ain't got nobody working at any of the spaces from tax season until like almost July.
Mm-hmm.
When you come back, how many tax forms you think you got to do? Plus, Fresno had like 12 other states, 10 other states, something like that brought their taxes as well.
Yeah.
We had 14.6 million different freaking tax forms to do within the first week to catch up to a couple of other million that were, and we had like those canisters outside, those shipping crates filled, and like, it was crazy. So besides it, you know, shutting down the business a little bit, that was your pivot, was like, okay, get this stuff and start doing that.
Yeah, it made me realize that, you know what, I love rapping. Like, that's like, but I was like, you know what, I need to look into longevity.
Yeah.
And that's the realest shit.
I think that rappers forget about the business side.
They do.
Yeah.
Because you know what? No matter how much you rap, what a lot of people don't realize is that the rappers are the bottom of the barrel.
Yes.
Before the rappers get their money, it's got to go through so many different hands before you get your piece.
You got to get the beat from the producer. You got to rent the time from the studio. Then once you get in the studio, you got to pay for the whole thing to get your shit mixed and mastered, to get your masters back. And once you got that, now you got to pay everybody to promote it. So you basically paying the entire time just to make your music. You paying everybody. You're paying videographers. You're paying management. You're paying everybody to help promote your shit. You're paying Instagram to get the $15 promotions. You're getting, it's coming out of you before you even see a cent back. So that's why you got to believe in the actual track or the music that you're doing, because you might put 5,000 into one song, but you see that return, and but that business side is really what I think a lot of people miss, is that, you know, you got to stack up something.
Yeah.
Oops, we're good.
We're good. So that's why I was like, you know what, the aspect of the longevity, the business part.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, let me look into this. What can be done beyond the rapping? Beyond, okay, branding.
Yeah.
If you don't got a brand, you know, a lot of rappers will be out there and just recording songs and whatever beats they find wherever and putting them out there. But it's like, you know what? You gotta have a brand. Once you have that brand, you gotta build into that. There's so many different aspects of doing this that a lot of people don't know about. And
the SoundCloud era kind of gave people that misconception that you'll be able to bypass all the business side and just kind of get into it. No, you're right.
And I got away from SoundCloud.
Oh yeah.
I got away from that because
I listened to it for the era that it was, which was 13 to 14, 16, 15 maybe, 16, maybe those 3 years. You know, and everybody that came out of it, shouts out to them. but it was what it was for the time frame.
Yeah. It played its part.
Yeah.
It did what it was supposed to do.
It helped change the industry. It helped gather things. You know, the industry's about growth. You know, but
Yeah.
But you're right, because a lot of people don't understand. And me and Vinny, shout out to Vinny from TME, we were talking about this earlier today about the difference between marketing and advertisement, and how branding needs to be able to understand, or artists need to understand that your brand needs to be marketable, because your advertisement just tells them what it is, what you got going on, where to find you, how many things that it is. But the marketability is that I can make you into this. So if you rap and you do a sponsorship for a beer company, and then you see you in a commercial for this, and then you see, you know, Snoop, marketable. People like that can get into any field. The marketability is what your brand, which is you, your idea, your logo, your all that shit, how many people's lives does it sit in on a regular basis?
Yeah.
You know, like the BKR thing, you know, like Otis, like TA, we were talking about all their brands, all the clothes that they wear or they bring out every time they drop an album. People are wearing them in the city. That's part of the branding. That's the marketability of it, that you can get anybody to wear the crown hat or the fee face with the thing, or BKR's, you know, like, because it sits. Because that marketability, it sits into the beer group, this group, that group. The advertisement is just telling everybody, hey, we'll look for it over here. Hey, this is what's going on. Hey, what's going on here? And so, you know, it's that part that I think a lot of artists are missing right now, is that.
Like I used to have the Dr.Ink ink pens.
Okay.
And I would give those out, and it was like a lot of people were like, hell yeah, including artists who were like, okay, I'm gonna take this shit. I'm gonna write my rhymes with this shit, all stuff like that. I had, without even knowing, I had created some sort of market where people felt like, if I'm gonna write, let it be with that pen.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because they, I guess, for whatever reason, they felt like that energy that I had was incorporated in the ink pens that I was getting. Because I would tell them, like, write your rhymes with this shit. And it was. Honestly, when I did those ink pens, I was like, this shit is for anybody who write rhymes, who want that shit to be tight, want to be fresh. Like,
that's smart with that, because a lot of kids do that, like, challenges, right? And it's like, oh, what, you rap? Oh, well, there's this challenge where this guy handing out pens, like, write your best, like, literally write your best.
Yeah.
That encourages and that sparks that, and that's dope, because that is a great way to, you know, Dr.Ink, I got pens. Like, you know what I mean? You got bars? You got bars? What's up? Here, I'll hand you one. Write it. Do your thing. Yeah.
Because writing is, I mean, no matter who you are, if you want to get in the music industry, writing is the important part.
Writing is the greatest part.
You know, freestyling
and rapping is one thing. Songwriting is a completely different gear.
Completely different.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes when like the albums I put out where they were just freestyles, I was like, you know what? Let me get this, whatever I feel, let me get it out.
Yeah.
In the quickest way possible. Because if I sit and try to write everything that I feel, there's too much time that's gonna pass by.
Oh yeah, exactly. You're gonna lose it.
So I'm like, let me do this. This is how I feel right now for the freestyle part, and then I'll get into the writing for the real shit.
Like, shout out to my man Byron Campbell, B-Nut. That's the way he writes. The margin is kind of like the limit. Like, writing it out, there's not the same energy as when he freestyles it. He'll bounce his tone, he'll bend notes, he starts to harmonize, he does all these things because it's able to get the thought out. We do that 4 or 5 times, and then within that, find the cadence, find the melody, and then like start to either keep the lines or just start to go, okay, here's the best part, here's what it's supposed to sound like, now write to it. And it's good too, because I've seen other artists like that. Shout out to Halo the Human. I worked with him on the Good Boy album and a couple of mixtapes, and we were in the lab for a while, but his writing, you know, kind of situation goes headphones, whatever is playing, and he just and does that for a good hour and a half, but we're not hearing the words that he's actually saying in his head. But he's mumbling and doing that out loud so he can keep the cadence, so he knows what his right is, but you know what he's writing, he's hearing the words, and that right there is encourageable too when you get somebody with the pen in their hand and go, here, now write it though, like sit down and write. And I told my daughter's 6 now, she was like, they don't teach cursive in school. And I was like, well, I'm gonna teach you how to write that way so you can kind of keep that calligraphy, that style of like, you know, what scripture should be, like script writing, not scriptures. Shout out to religious people, but not that. Script writing, you know, calligraphy, different types of fonts and shit. So that keeps, because, you know, writing is essential. And with this project that I showed you earlier, we're showing those beats, inviting the writer, inviting the creativeness of a writer. You know, where do you want to take this song? Where do you see that the balance of a song needs to go this way, or what, you know? Because in Fresno we have a lot of artists who can rap, and that is true. We have a lot of, and I'm sure everybody out there has tons of rappers, but songwriters, you know, people who drop albums, and the project itself is like, yo. And I think you're in that phrase when I think that people talk these, you know, major names and in Fresno, and there's a list of or whatever. There's still that amount of artists that are still competing and doing. Yeah. And I think that your name and your label, your brand, as we were saying, is still up there, and it's great that you're out there pressing the shit. You know, 2020 after the pivot too, so we interrupted on that too. So after you know, shit went with the brand and the cars, and then you got all of your stuff. Was it slow to pick up as 21 started to open up, or was it still like kind of like hezzy, like let me just see what it is?
I kind of stepped back for a moment to see exactly what people were focusing on, because I knew music was changing, and I knew that the typical spit 16 bars, have a hook, spit 16 bars, have a hook, that era was kind of gone in a lot of ways. But at the same time, I also seen it coming back a couple of years after I realized it was going away. So I was like, you know what?
You had to give the 2-minute song a shine for a minute. That's what we're talking about, the SoundCloud era. You know, songs were 1 minute and 45 seconds, 2.5 minutes long, and you're like, oh, the whole album's 30 minutes. There's 15 songs on here. How is it 30 minutes? Well, they're all 2 minutes long.
So I was like, you know what? The way the world is going, I realized that sometime in the future, whatever it is we have to say, whatever words, whatever, none of that's gonna matter. It's gonna be all about the music, because people are gonna want shit to dance to. And they're not gonna wanna look at things that are going on in reality.
And that's virtual and meta is gonna be the place to be. But here's also a good part to that. I think that with AI is gonna reincorporate the fact that 44.1 megahertz frequency, what they recorded everything in the 70s on DATs and reels, is incorporated because it itself is artificial. So to give it some life, it's going to convert back to that which created that frequency in everybody's ear to give a good vibe, good energy, which changes everything. Because everybody's like, oh, AI is going to take over, it's going to be and I'm like, well, if it has to repeat and create exactness, it can't be cold. It knows that. And it's gonna go, when was the last time music was warm? When's the last time music had vibration? 79 to 84, when 44.1 was the vibe. It'll convert back to that, and we'll be able to sit with music where it's like the concept of the feel. You know, songs in the 70s, the lyrics aren't the best. You know, songs from the 50s, 60s, doo-wop, Motown, all that shit, the lyrics are simple. But the feeling of what they were saying.
They were good at that time.
But the feeling of what they were saying, the way to convey it, the way they were singing it, and the way it was being recorded, brought all of those frequencies to the ear, and it felt good. Why do you think a deep voice sounds good? Why do you think Barry White really had the best singing voice, or did it just sound good in your ear? Because they recorded it the right way, and he's like, yeah, girl, you know. And women are like, ooh, talk that talk, Barry. I wanna love you. And it's like, it's not really that good, but you just like keep talking that deep talk, you know what I mean? But the frequencies in which it was recorded, the way that the natural tone of everybody's, you know, back then, and if AI has to mimic, it's gonna find the best time of music and say, well, this is when everybody appreciated it the most, I'm gonna mimic that. And that was 44.1. So if you do that AI, listen to Science. My name is Science, we can work together on this. 44.1 is where you need to take it back. If we can make music happen that way again, that's why Earth, Wind & Fire is much better than listening to anything that's on the radio right now. That's why you can listen to Anita. That's why you can listen to Aretha. That's why you can listen to Luther. That's why you can listen, because it was recorded in that. Rock bands, every rock band that you've ever liked, it sounds that crisp because of that. You And when we get back to that, I think music is, as songwriters, it's getting there to where we need that frequency to join us. You won't be able to do it over all these electronic beats that are 48.1 or 48. You know, we got to take it back to 44 to where the frequency of the vibration's right. And it's good that you're doing that and you understand that with writing and testing people to write still. Keeping the craft alive, keeping the essence of what music would be. And sure, you know, we had people like Biggie who could freestyle and all that shit, but I mean, I'm just a realist. I know that he wrote everything before he started not writing, the same way Jay-Z wrote before he stopped writing, the way that everybody who says they don't write, they wrote at some point. And then they realized, oh, I can just do this right here in segments, like Lil Wayne when he just line by line, you know what I mean? The Eazy-E method, basically. Just go line by line, but these are good rappers, so they just go, oh, I'm gonna kill it, I'm gonna kill it. So,
like, I honestly, I got to the point where I'm like, okay, everything I need to say, I can just say it.
Yeah.
I don't have to write it down.
No.
Because to me, having to write anything down that you have to say when it comes to music, it's because you are unable to retain everything you need to know because of everything that's being fed to you.
Yeah.
So it gets in the way.
Thought versus thought.
Yeah. You have to figure out a way to separate what is fed to you and what you already know.
Yeah.
Because your gut is going to tell you everything you need to know, regardless of what you've been taught, regardless of how you live.
Yeah.
If your gut says, you know what, this ain't right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Lead. That's a lead right there. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to go by it. So I figure, you know what? Even though life is trying to lead me in another direction, I kind of have to ignore that matrix part of it.
And that I think that's the part I was gonna jump in and say. It was like, you know, during the writing process, a lot of the writer block comes from listening to a bunch of things, and not that it isn't good to get encouragement or advice or whatever, or even just. But what you're saying is trust what you're thinking, trust the mood, trust what the song should be, and being able to freestyle that is like having a conversation like we are right now.
Yeah.
Like none of this is scripted, but we're giving truth, we're giving definition, you know, we have ideas behind just what has been brought in front of us. And if in a freestyle you're able to deliver that, get it out right in that moment because that's how you feel about it. Because in 5 minutes, I'm gonna be like, hold on, let me tell you how I was feeling a couple minutes ago. Yeah. And then, you know what I mean? There's a delay in that. And that 7-second delay in life is not what you really want to do. You want to get an instant, and that freestyle brings that.
You have to get that part out.
Yeah.
Because whether we like it or not, we're all stuck in the matrix.
Oh, yeah.
So there are certain moments, certain times where you get a chance to say, you know what? This is how I feel. This is what I have to say. This is real shit.
This is the thought. This is what's going on with me. This is where I'm at in the moment. Yeah.
And a lot of the times, a lot of us have that moment.
Yeah.
But we don't have a way to save it, say it, record it, whatever the case is. So we have it, and then a few hours later, we're back to the same old shit that we're used to.
Yep.
For that moment, we have escaped.
Yes.
What they have us stuck in. So for that moment, we get a chance to say, hey, this is not the way it's supposed to be.
Nope.
This is what we got to do.
We all see it. We all know it.
So for those that end up getting wrapped back into the matrix of what it is, some may comply fully, but others, they may be like, something ain't right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something's not right. So
you're not even trying to work the system, you're just trying to exist around
it.
Because you create that, like, I know what you're saying too, is like some people just fully tap in and like, okay, 9 to 5, gotta do this, script, and you're like, yeah, but you know, life is supposed to just exist, right? You're supposed to just exist. Why does it charge me to live here? Like,
exactly.
And then you go into, okay, now if I'm doing music, then why do I gotta pay all these other people? Okay, if I'm doing music, then why do I gotta write down my ideas for you to understand what I'm saying if I can't just talk to you? And then you go, okay, I'm gonna freestyle it and give you my idea right off the rip because you can't edit it. It hasn't been edited. I didn't stop and, oh, what's the better way to say this? I'm saying from straight part and direct. And that's true, I like that because I think that there's a lot of ability in spoken word. I've done spoken word poetry. Your honesty is the vulnerability.
Yeah.
And the vulnerability also brings the most truth out because sometimes it is what somebody else doesn't want to hear. And you make them vulnerable. And they're like, oh, that was cringe. And you're like, no, that's not cringe, that's the truth.
Yeah.
How many people live in the Matrix, like you said, and they stick to the script, and when you hear what you're really doing, you know what you're doing, right? And you tell them, like, you know what you're doing, right? You wake up every day, you do this, you do this, you do this for somebody the fuck else. None of this is yours, really, truly. The house isn't yours, the property isn't yours, the car is yours, basically, sort of, not really. You don't do anything and own anything unless you start creating your own thing.
Yeah.
And in a freestyle, that's exactly where that freedom comes in. It's just like I'm speaking my mind and thoughts of everybody around me because the energy in the room is saying this right now. And then you create a song or energy off of that, and that's like the truth came out in that moment. I found a song in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope, man. And then so when it opened up, you said like 2021, you're bouncing back. So like 22 was kind of like looking into adding all of this, you know, your media stuff into play, or was it still kind of like personal use?
Still personal use.
Okay.
I would say. You know, when I look back to the things that were going on at the time that I started rapping, I'm like,
right.
You know, I can sit here and I can rap all day about the stuff that's going on.
Oh yeah, well we've
Just
done
like,
the party vibe.
yeah,
We've done the you know the
right.
crazy type. Like the stuff you showed me was like a little hardcore. I'm pretty sure you did some trap stuff. I'm pretty sure you did some bounce stuff. I'm sure you know what I mean.
And I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, you know what? A good beat with some lyrics that are good, just sticking to how things have been before the whole mumble rap and whatever the fuck else happened after
But here's that part. I'm gonna sidebar you on that real quick.
Okay.
Because everything that happened, we all appreciated. We grabbed onto something, right?
Yeah.
Some people liked hyphy, some people didn't. And then some of us were like, yo, that's the ahhh. That's finally when the Bay finally got his thing, right? But then there's purists that go, well, that's when rap became simple because you have to think from 2001 and 2 till 2008. That's how everybody rapped. Like they had that slow mumble, and then when it got to the drug part, it was the lean started getting bigger.
Yeah.
And then these younger cats were really getting prescribed Oxycontin. These younger cats were really getting prescribed Perkies. They were really, you know, on medication.
Yeah.
So when 12 and 13 hit, that's when they were coming out as their, you know, their style of rap. But what was their influence? There wasn't a Kendrick or a Cole. There was hyphy.
True.
And hyphy talked about partying and turning up. And then you had the Louisiana bounce music was after Katrina. Everybody from Louisiana got moved out and placed all over the United States. So now you got influences that are coming out. That's why A$AP Rocky sounds so Southern. That's why all these other artists around the Bay, you know, started because they already worked with down south, Louisiana, stuff like that. With Master P and everybody. Shout out to everybody that, you know, 90s, all the ahhh. But then it came back to where it's like, okay, there's all these different sounds being blended together. And a lot of the simplistic rap form got a lot of popularity because there was a lot of Southern rappers that had a Southern flow that other people considered simple, but it's not. Like David Banner's not simple, you know what I mean? Like Big Crit is not simple. Like they got bars, like T.I., Andre, and then you can go on and on, but I'm just saying from the underground aspect. So I think that there was a time frame where the lyricism just wasn't being asked very much of. Like people weren't, as fans, weren't asking people to be that lyrical until we got the Kendricks and the Coles, you know, and then Drake and then even that shit, you know what I mean? Like all of those artists that were like, okay, these are the most musical, creative and that stuff, but we had to deal with that as purists that came from the 90s and saw the graduation from the Wu-Tangs and everybody else, the Tupacs, the Biggies, the, you know, the 50 Cents, the M's, everybody that came, we saw it all. So when the new branch came, we're like, we've already seen that. Matter of fact, that's like beginner rap. Like what you guys are doing, it's not mumble. It's just you're good enough to put a song together.
Yeah.
That's what we all sounded like when we first started rapping. But these are medicated children.
True.
Like that was the part that we, as fans, forgot about. Like, they were medicated. That's why they sounded like that. They were on lean plus perks plus Xans. And we were like, yo, we just smoking weed, maybe do a little coke, maybe pop some Molly, we're not that fucked up. We're not belligerently like not be able to speak.
We didn't know that.
And
we didn't know as much.
And you know when you've been drunk and you try to freestyle, what do you sound like? You know what I mean? So that's what they sound like because they think that they're killing it, and their boys are equally as turned up as them. So they're like, oh, bro, yeah. So we didn't get what they were living through. We didn't hear it. We weren't there. We weren't 15, 16, 17 years old right now where that's getting high.
Yeah.
When we were in the 90s, it was like, this is getting high. This is 40 in a blunt, Heineken in a blunt, you know what I mean? Maybe some Molly at the fucking rave, maybe a little X, whatever. Shrooms every now and then. But that's it. Now they're like, yo, we want to take all the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go. So it's kind of a little bit more difficult to understand any one of your friends that's really belligerent, drunk, or really high. I think that's what we got. We got a bunch of kids that were suffering through something, and we were trying to understand what they were saying, and we couldn't hear them until some of them sobered up, and then we're like, oh, wow, you guys got suppressions. Like, you guys got, some issues. You got Uzi that was able to step out of it. You know, you got people that were able to step out of it that became really good musicians.
Yeah.
But it's like every time we bring up the mumble rap thing, I have to go like, I hated it too at the time. But when I look back at it, I realized what we were watching. It made more sense to say, I can understand why you rap like that. Because you know how many people thought down south rap was really that clever or that bouncy or whatever because of the way they sounded.
Yeah.
Their speech, their slang, their, you know what I mean? Everything. And then when it got accepted outside of Louisiana, as I said, after Katrina, I feel like, everybody kind of got used to the Louisiana down south, kind of like, you know what it is. Play it, boy, you know what I mean? Like that type of vibe.
Yeah. Because everybody was looking like, I could tell.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I was able to tell, because.
But being older now, you look back and you say, hey, as an artist, you realize, like you said, a lot of the freestyle stuff that you have, like I was saying with my man Byron, it's like that's the best way for you as an artist to be able to write all of the things that you have is because it's easier just to give all the idea at once, record it all, track it all, and then find the best parts and then put that together into a sentence that makes sense. Not that none of it made sense, it all made sense.
Yeah. But
the best parts to be like, yo, I'm speaking to you right now. I don't gotta sit here and like you said, why you gotta think about what I'm gonna say? That's like me going, hey bro, like that what I just did, like thinking about what the fuck I was about to say, you know what I mean? It gets weird for a minute because you're sitting in a room with a bunch of rappers and you're the one just quiet for 38 minutes, or the one that's, like I said, Halo, mumbling and stuff, or you got, you just put the beat on, I'm gonna go in the booth, let me just run my things real quick, I got a couple ideas.
Yeah.
That changes the energy in the room because you kind of push everybody too, like, oh, he was able just to knock that out? Fuck, I gotta I gotta step my shit up, So where do I get these Dr.Ink pens at?
The pens. Ooh.
Do you have any left? No more on stock?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I might hit him with the stumper. He's like, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I had so many
Y'all got any pens left?
So many different merches.
No. We've confirmed from the sideline, no, we don't got any more pens left.
No more pens left?
No.
Yeah. I had so many different, like, merch items that were kind of like, I have so many.
You're like Spaceballs, where you're like, Dr.Ink the toilet paper. Dr.Ink the bath rug. Dr.Ink the, pens. Like
it was like, get them while I have them.
Yeah.
Because after this.
But then it becomes that collector's item to where if you got one, like I said, the stamp in the timeline of Fresno.
Yeah.
Do you guys have? Do you guys rock? Yeah, that type shit. Yeah, it's dope.
I was like, the pens were probably the best.
The most catchy
merch that ever.
That's what the glasses spinners are for us.
Yeah.
Everybody I see with glasses, I'm like, yo, you rock glasses? Here's a glasses spinner, Red Eye Industries. Check them out.
I ended up getting a lot of, oh shit, I'm gonna write my rhymes with this pen, whatever else I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Because honestly, any merch that I put out is gonna have my energy in the shit.
And I could see you put it on a notepad. That would have been dope too. If you put the Dr.Ink notepads out.
I had those
like
too.
the yellow ledgers. You had some?
Yeah.
See, great minds think alike, my guy. I'm telling you. Yeah, that's dope.
I had a stamp too. I was going around stamping
Okay.
all kind of people.
See,
like,
that's what I'm saying. When he was talking about branding, he's really talking about like getting the niche little things in your home, the things that you use on a regular basis to kind of brand and put your name on and shit. You know, dentists are smart when they do that shit. Like, oh, here, take a pen.
Yeah.
Here, take a pen. Take a pen. That's free advertisement. So yeah, I get it. That's dope, man.
So I was like, you know what? There's a lot of cats doing merch
Yeah.
out here, and all the merch is mainly t-shirts, hats, shit like that.
Sweaters, t-shirt, yeah.
So I was like, you know what? There's a lot of different shit that can be made with that logo.
Oh yeah, there's mouse pads, USB cords. You know what I mean? You could have did aux cords. You could,
I was like,
because when you really look at the concept of like what people would need on a daily basis, when you go to like the customization like IG page or website itself, and it sees you can see all the offerings that they have. They're like, oh, we got this. You're like, oh yeah, businesses do this just for the one time, but why not make this like an actual thing? Yeah, man. We are talking, me and Vinny were talking about doing branding classes, marketing and advertisement classes. If you want to get involved and sit down and talk to people about like different ways to brand, or you know, some of the smaller ideas that you brought to life, that'd be great. Because I think everybody around anywhere, not just in Fresno or in the 559, you guys are watching this worldwide. This is called the World Famous Do Work Podcast. We are really in now 27 states, 5 countries, and then like 30-something cities in California, Hawaii, overseas. We're in around all kinds of places. Shout out to all my fans. But you know, I mean, you got the opportunity to share some of our creativity ideas, and also with the marketing and branding, how we would be able to get that out. So if you want to sit down and work with us in a couple of things, we'll be doing like small clips, videos, promos, things like that, where we talk about it. It'd be great to have you on board, because I'm sure there's tons of insight you'd be able to give us on just branding over the years that you've been able to touch on and had success with. You know what I mean? And artists don't think of these things, and that's really what the idea with me and Vinny were talking about, is like the things that artists don't think about.
Yeah.
You know, you really could have. You went to the Dollar Tree, you got 100 of these, and said, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna spray paint them and do a thing and put my brand on it. Hey, dude, they're $50 or $25 each." And like, oh wow, okay, cool. Why? Because they're limited. And, you know, you think about the price is because I said it's the price. I think that people tend to forget that. Like, you place the pricing on what your value is. If you say this t-shirt that I printed is just this right here, but if these are $50 t-shirts, a lot of your customers might say, no, I'm not gonna buy that for $50. There's gonna be somebody that pulls up and be like, hey, nobody ain't got these? Let me get one, I'll pay $50 for it. And then they start the trend, they start the wave. And then your brand takes off by getting the notoriety by saying, oh, I bought this shit for $50, this is what the price is.
Well, I'd pay $5 for that.
Yeah, I paid $1 for this.
Yeah.
But like, if you painted it and put the stickers on it and be like, hey bro, this is $5 right there off the rip. Yeah.
I'd pay $5 for that shit.
Make a profit off of it.
That's what I'm saying. We got those before. I was like,
yeah,
it's a nice little thing.
And I pull it out because I usually, when we're able to smoke,
like,
I can ash it in here. But I got the Red Eye Industries on the decky. You know what I mean? So since it's been open, since everything opened back up now, where are we at? You got new projects out?
Yes. Well, okay. Two new projects out.
Projects.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we got the Ink Skills.
Okay.
That's the one of the projects that we got out. But I kind of pushed that on a different level. Okay. Than what I'm doing now. Like, my boy Terry Skills did the beats.
Okay, shout out to Skills. Shout out to Skills. Been fucking with my boy since back in the day. Pause.
And all the songs I've done from those albums have all been freestyle.
Okay.
Like, trying to experiment with that, trying to do some different stuff. So, and
the one that you got for the video that we're about to drop at the end of this, what is this off this project, or is it the new?
No,
new?
It's a new.
Couple of tracks on it. Is it mostly singles, or is it just like a project, like an EP, mixtape?
Actually, this is just a single.
Oh, it's just a single. Okay. Yeah. Well, then y'all really getting the exclusive.
I was like, you know what? I want to do a video for this song, I don't want it to be from, with any of the albums that are coming out right now, or
Just its own thing. It's its own energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You've been rolling off that all day.
I have to do it that way. So
It's slippery. He said.
it is. This is like a
He did it like 3 times. I'm like, you good? Like, hey man, I misshot it.
yeah. Walmart set me up for
Failure.
Yeah, exactly.
You're making me look bad on camera, Walmart.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
I'm over trying to be respectable. but
But,
yeah, so with that,
a lot of projects that I've been doing lately have been freestyle
Okay.
instead of writing, because I kind of like got to a point where I was like, well, my boy Terry Skills, when he comes up with the beats,
yeah,
it's like I don't want to wait too long to get on them.
yeah,
So since everything else has been freestyle, since we had 2 different projects working at the same time, I was like, you know what? I'll come through, do my freestyle over your beat you have.
He said Twiggy Wayne.
Yeah.
He went Lil Wayne on him.
And
No, but that's
then-
good though, because if you keep that energy going, you're able to just conduct a real pure conversation each time a new
Yeah.
beat comes to you. Like, you already know because you're in mode. That's
Yeah.
where you're at. It isn't like
Exactly.
you're on some like, let's test the grounds and let's see what it feels like to not write.
Mhm.
No, you're really been there. So it's like, yo, this is what I'm doing right now. This is where I'm not writing anything right now, but I'm keeping the energy like max to like what we got going on. What other producers are you working with on this project or on any of the projects that you have coming? Because I know you work with T Skills, so like, any
Right
producers
now,
are,
right now, it's just me.
hey, well, fuck with your boy.
You know what I'm saying? Just
I make beats,
right now,
you know what I
it's me.
mean? Everybody out there now, I make
Like
beats. man.
I'm like, cause the new project that I want to do, I want to collab with as many people as possible, and the reason why. Let me say the reason why.
Okay.
At some point, I'm gonna retire.
Yeah.
I don't know when that's gonna be.
But you'd like to have that masterpiece that has everybody
Yeah.
on board. So if you walked away after that, you could literally be like, I'm happy with
I'm
this.
done.
I'm good. I got Fash. I got Planet
Right,
Asia. I got,
yeah,
BKR.
I'm done.
I got everybody. Where everybody lived that I respect, I got them. We good. Yeah, we
Yep.
good. Okay. I like that though. And that's what I'm doing on this project. Like I mentioned it a couple times. You guys might have seen it on multiple episodes coming up. The project is almost done, but it's the same thing. I'm respecting writers. I want writers to get on and like storytell, give me a concept, give me something where we can take it out here where it's not just like you said, rapping on something, but giving an idea and a conversation about what the concept is,
Yeah.
and getting a feel. Again, like I said, taking it back to the feel. A lot of musicians now are getting back to the rhythmic and back to the soul and back to that stuff, and it never really left, but the popularity music didn't have it. A lot more of it is balancing itself out now to where the popularity music kind of has it. And that gives us a better aspect because us underground heads and people that listen to like real stuff that isn't being commercialized get to see other people appreciate the music that we do listen to, and it's being commercialized, which is great because you guys get to share in great ideas and better music. Not to say that pop and all these other genres aren't better. I'm saying better than what you may be given at a particular time where you go, oh, these artists are what I have. No, there's other artists to pick from and different sounds and genres to pick from. And so now that it's up, what do we got to look forward to from Dr.Ink?
Right now, with this video footage,
After the
Okay.
video footage, but I'm saying just in general,
So-
like what's popping now? Like what's
so right now,
yeah.
what I have going on is I want to put an album out. It's going to be separate from the whole Ink Skills thing with Terry Skills doing the beats and all stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I've always, regardless of who I've collabed with, I've always made sure that I still keep my own thing going.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because it's not always the same. Sometimes I've even had cats that I've recorded on their songs, and they didn't put the songs out. I had a cat that decided that he was going to change his lyrics.
And that's the thing too. A lot of people don't
And
got that
never
drive.
did.
Like where you're at right now. That's another thing that I think that you should
really promote to other artists is like the drive, the consistency. You know, when you feel it, get it, knock it out, put it out.
Yeah.
Content is content. You know, songs are songs. We're gonna bring in a bunch of people around you, so you're gonna write some of your best material.
Exactly.
But then also being around the freedom of being able to write like that. You know, put the content out, put it out there. Don't be afraid. If you know you're doing well right now and this is working better, man, just drop it, drop it,
knock it out.
Yeah.
So I just like, I like doing my own projects, but ultimately, my plan at the end of the day is to be able to work with as many artists as I can that are in the 559.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to work with cats that are outside of that because, you know, I feel like
you welcome it though, right?
Yeah, I'll welcome it.
Yeah, but you're not pushing for it.
But I'm not pushing for it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd rather work
just don't want to X out anybody. If they're like, man, I was gonna call them up next Thursday, but you don't want to.
I wouldn't X out anybody at all whatsoever.
But your personal agenda is to just work with all the greatness that's around.
If you were a hooker on welfare, they got bars.
They got bars.
I'll work with you. That shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you got bars, I will work with you. That shit does not matter.
I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm thinking what kind of bars she might have, and I'm like, yo.
Life.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
Just life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, no matter what it is,
just
I'm
whatever
always
you bring
down
to the table.
to work with other artists.
And that's great.
Because I don't feel like my way is the best way. You can always learn from anybody that you meet, regardless of what. And plus, I want to be able to share the exposure with other artists too, because it's just for myself.
But that's great that you're saying it that way too, because you said you want to work with everybody just to be able to say that, but not the other way around. Like I want to work with everybody so they got my feature on their, you know what I mean? Like some people are like trying to stamp out, like I'm gonna get on everything before you're like, I just want to work with everybody and know we did something classic. We dropped a song, the energy was good. We might have been like 5 of us that night. We just kind of like, then it became a thing. And that's great because you really should just want to set out a standard of what you think that your career happiness, your career success is. You're like, if I did all these things, I'm good. Somebody else would be like, but you didn't do. You're like, well, that wasn't on my list. So it don't matter. I did everything on my list. Like I'm good. Like I did that. You know what I mean?
I met everybody that I wanted to meet ever in life.
Well, I hope I was on that list because you.
Man, sitting there chilling.
I was on that list. You know.
Hell yeah.
A little science in there. String a little science.
But to be sitting there chilling with Afro Man, talking to him while she was
smoke with him.
She was my ex. We smoked and we drank.
That's what I'm talking about. He had the Colt 45s and that ice
chest. He had Colt 45 and I had rum.
It ain't even a lie, bro. So I met him in Vegas. Same shit. He was on stage. It was him, a guitar, an amp, his phone plugged into the amp. That was the beats, and then he was playing on top of it, and then an ice chest with nothing but Colt 45s. We threw a blunt on stage. He picked it up. He said, yo, I saw you guys, like, afterwards, like, ahhh. So we went backstage to chill with him. 5 ice chests, all Colt 45s. All blunts just running the whole night. It was just like, here, you want to smoke? You want to smoke? You want to smoke? You want to smoke? I was like, damn, he ain't lying. You know what I mean? He ain't lying. He really lived that life, you know what I mean? But
he don't. When I was backstage with him and shit, that motherfucker had a tall can of Colt 45.
Off the rip, yeah.
I said, oh shit.
Oh, it's real. It's real. It's what
he said, yeah. I had rum and Coke. I was like, yeah, I do rum and Coke. He was like, yeah, I know. So we chopped it up and shit. Like, you know, exchange phone numbers and shit like that. So I was like, fuck, man. I was like, every milestone that I wanted to hit doing music, like this right here, just hit it.
And that's the part I think a lot of musicians miss is that, you know, your personal growth and your personal avenue and who you meet along the lines and who respects your art is bigger than what you think. Like, I'm gonna be that person who's like, you know what I mean? And on the way up, you start to realize like everybody's respected your shit.
Yep.
And people start to step in and say, hey man, I fucks with you. Oh man, I do like. That's a bigger part than anything because when you get there, that's why most of the people that are there are humble because they got to achieve those goals. They said, if I did this number, if I did that on this album, if I were able to And those things start to happen in life, and you're like, yo, I'm pretty good. I don't want none, need none, that type vibe. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. So I get it, and that's good that you have been able to cross that and come across a lot of artists in the time frame, and just to have that humble spirit of just like, as long as I get to work with them, create with them, it's like a chef, you know what I mean? I got to chop it up with them, I got to cook with them, like we got to, you know, have a feast together, and it was the one time for the one time. Respect all the way through. I'm gonna see you later on, but that was the one time we did that thing.
At the only time, it's like at the end of the day, it's like chilling.
That's a beautiful thing.
Getting that vibe, or you're just chilling.
Yeah. Well, again, you got a new project coming out. I'm a sound engineer, so if you need anything, you might want to holler at Chew. Like Pro Tools certified, 2005. Been running like probably like 56,000 hours of fucking Pro Tools.
Honestly, like,
just saying.
I want to try to work with the label.
Okay. Yeah.
Instead of me trying to do everything by myself, you know, triple guy recording.
Indie or major?
Like indie.
Okay.
I can never go major. Like I'm underground.
I think the only way I would go major is if we partnered. I wouldn't sign to them.
Yeah.
I would partner. I'd be like, okay, well my brand is this big. You offer me 4 million, so that means you expect to make 36 to 56 million. So yeah, no, we're gonna partner. Yeah, I'll take 25 mil. You take 25 mil. We'll just walk away from that, and then we'll do it for the one time. We're good. And if it worked, you want to do it for the 2 time, we can do it for the 2 time. But most time it's gonna be for the 1 time. But yeah, independent. So work with somebody.
Yeah.
As a consultant, an artist, a writer, a producer, or just everything all together. Just bring everything to the table and be like, hey guys, here's what we got. Dr.Ink done brought it. What we gonna do? Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Because you know, I think we'd have it better than a lot of cats would.
Yeah, definitely.
Be ready more than a lot of cats would. More experience.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if that worked on?
No, it's hilarious because you're louder saying shh on the mic than they're on the mic. You can't hear them at all on the microphones.
Okay.
But when you went shh, it was louder because you're right here. That was tight.
Fucking dogs.
But yeah, I mean, getting to that point, you know, in the next couple of years, you know, over the time frame. But you know, we always got to look back at the ride. The ride's been amazing, right?
Yeah.
The ride's been crazy. You went from the 2000 eras to the 2000 teens to now the 2020s. You're still in a career vibe. You're influencing people. New people are stepping into the stage. Mm-hmm. And we've worked together multiple times. This is the first time we actually met each other.
Yeah.
Like I just earlier, if you guys were watching, we talked about like 4 or 5 shows we've done together, but we just never. It was like in passing. Hey, what's up, bro? Okay, yeah, cool. We're doing all right. Yeah. To be the first time I get to sit down and talk to you, so it's been great to do that.
Yeah,
I mean, I appreciate it. I've been a fan of your music. Every time you drop something or a visual or something like that, I'm always on board. Whenever you say, I got a video coming up, I always say, hey man, I'm gonna pull up. Like, yeah, you don't know me, but on Science, on Facebook it's do work. But yeah, it's been great to just, you know, be able to sit down, chop it up, work for some stuff. I got some stuff coming up too, so we'll be able to network and do some things. Shout out to my extra videographer, Birdstash in the building, you know, for coming through and sliding through. Junk in the Trunk in the building as well. She always just happens to pull up. This is the 16th episode she's been on, so you know what I mean? Shout out to them. If you guys don't follow them on Instagram, please do. And if everybody was gonna follow you or get a hold of you to do work, where would they do that at? Facebook, Instagram, what's the best way? Email?
Well, okay, so.
Ooh, this sounds serious.
Just Google.
Dr.
Because I would say all the other stuff that I'm under there, but I got like a lot of different names. So it's a lot of different names.
Okay, so for right now.
Google drink _ 559.
Okay, because it's Dr.Ink. Drink. Yeah. I like that. See?
And you'll find me.
Over your head, y'all don't even see that.
I think it's actually gotten to a point where you don't have to do the _.
You just say drink and then it'll pop
You just
up.
Drink. You just do drink 559.
Oh, so you that major on Google like that? They know you?
I got Yelp.
Google know you? Google like, no. Y'all talking about him right here. Like, let me just,
You know.
Yeah. Top 3 choices are him. Like, yeah, you might want to, is this him or is this him or is this him? Like, I don't know.
So, you know,
Okay.
photography,
So,
videography.
Drink _ 559, which is Dr.Ink _ 559.
Yeah.
But no separation, all relation. You know what I mean?
Videography, photography.
Production,
Yeah,
songwriting,
okay.
branding,
It's just like whatever you need.
features. If you know what I mean.
That also includes boudoir.
Oh, I like the little boudoir, little photo shoot.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
get a little
I'm
sexy
like-
back. You got backdrops in the whole jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, well, contact the man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Dr.Ink _ 559 or Drink 559. You will find him on all platforms, all social media platforms. Plus, if you want, email him, get him locked in, book him for something, please do. Is there anything else you want to say before we get up out of here, these motherfuckers? So you got me
just
sipping off the fucking thing, man. I'm all.
stay safe and that's it. Watch out for fake motherfuckers getting at your Cash App.
Right? They do that. They'll send you something and then cancel and be like, yo.
I'm like, I don't even know what the
the
fuck else other than that. Just, if
Hey.
you're gonna drink rum.
And if you're gonna drink _ 559, which is
Word.
Dr.Ink.
What,
I'm sipping
Okay.
on what they brought, but yeah.
what you got? Let me see.
That can that they brought,
Oh yeah, Ballast Point.
yeah. But
I love IPAs.
But in the BE, label. So shout out to my man's Absurd
Was
and
it-
FaZe.
Is
Born
there
Evil.
is there another
Another one of these? Yeah. There's more of these. We're gonna do the video right now too. So a lot of people don't know, but we just finishing up this podcast. I want to thank you guys for coming out to episode 28, spending your time with us, spending time with Dr. Ink, spending time with me. Shout out to Birdstash. Shout out to Junk in the Trunk in the building. Shout out to your girl that was in there. We smoked on that Sunday driver. You know what it is. Shout out to Red Eye Industries. Y'all make some noise. Anything you want to say to the last people before you
just
about it?
watch out for the video. It's gonna be coming out.
It's about to
You know
drop
what I'm
right
saying?
now. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
gonna- it's
Name
gonna
of the
be-
video?
It's gonna be dope. I feel like.
And you're about to see this right now, so you guys enjoy that. Thank you guys very much for pulling up to the world famous Do Word podcast. Every week, you know what it is. Three's full. Yeah, Scientifixxx, we out.
I'm out of rum.
Okay.
Oh shit.
We look in the universe and we see the effects of gravity, and we say, let's add up all the stars and galaxies and planets and comets and black holes, everything that we know about, to account for this gravity that we see. And when you add in the dark matter, this extra gravity, it turns the universe into the universe that we see. That's why we know the dark matter is real.
I'm the interstellar, dark dweller. Rum sipping, smoking tree, writing this verse in the dark cellar. No town, aka mini Gotham. Glad to meet ya. Well, Sharkeisha will beat you when she's off of Waukesha. You can smell the sin, taste the struggle in the cup. No time for soapy showers when you're trying to bubble up. Gun runs, done deal with California seals. Meth heads that are half dead, chasing the dragon's heel. I say chopping trees like I'm mowing grass. Bitches looking for the green while they showing ass. Shicey liquor stores, charging more in the hood. Looking at my black ass like I'm up to no good. California grizzly, my whole city keep the glizzy caught. Sasquatch fuckery, but watch out for city cops. Backwoods and packwoods, I smoke because I'm mental. Watch out for rat traps, pussy cats and dog kennels. Dark matter, dark chatter, dark ions, dark deeds, dark needs, dark icons, dark particles, dark skies, dark eyes, dark visions, dark truth, dark lies, dark matter, dark chatter, dark ions, dark deeds, dark needs, dark icons, dark particles, dark skies, dark eyes, dark vision, dark truth, dark lies.
The universe is thought to consist of three types of substance: regular matter, dark matter, and dark energy.
Trust level low, THC level high. Never trust these niggas till the day that I die. I see darkness in the mirror clearer than my own reflection. Dark matter collection covering me slowly in sections. Covering body corrections, I'm feeling disconnection. Whispers in the night inflicts verbal infections. You can't escape the fury like I can't escape the feeling. This could be the reason why I'm so high, scraping the ceiling. Feeling like my skin is peeling back good. Still in the Fresno state of mind, puffing on the backwood. Flashes of the bloody scene, my dreams, hearing screams. Return where I'd never been, sipping on the devil's lean. The art of killing if you're willing to be spilling life out. If I'm taking your wife out, I pull the knife out. I'm not moving in your peripheral vision. I'm not sounding night, make you stop, look and listen. Dark matter, dark chatter, dark ions, dark deeds, dark knees, dark icons, dark particles, dark skies, dark eyes, dark vision, dark truth, dark lies, dark matter, dark chatter, dark ions, dark deeds, dark needs, dark icons, dark particles, dark skies, dark eyes, dark visions, dark truth, dark lies. Dr.Ink and Paradoxxx.
This mysterious substance, called dark matter, makes up the bulk of a galaxy's mass and forms the foundation of our universe's large-scale structure. Because dark matter does not emit, absorb, or reflect light, its presence is only known through its gravitational pull on visible matter in space.
Yeah, I'm out of rum. Shit. And that's where I'll fade out where he's like, I'm out of rum. Yeah.